Hi, my name is David Davis, and I'm honored to be here giving a keynote today, talking about the secret to a successful career in technology. It's an exciting topic to me. I've talked a lot at the VMUGs about things like multi-hypervisor, VMware certification, best-free tools for vSphere, and I was happy this time that the VMUG leadership, they said, talk about anything you want. And this is a topic that I guess I had on my mind for a while, and lately I've had some successes, I feel like, and now I'd like to try to hopefully share those with other people to help you have some successes in your career in technology as well. So to me, that's what this presentation is about, is helping others to try to improve their career or make advances, get ahead in a career in technology. So just a little bit of background about me and who I am. Been in the IT industry a long time, worked as, I was like a PC technician at Best Buy. I sold PCs back in college. That was many, many years ago. During college, I started working as a backup operator at night when I went to school during the day. And I learned a lot from working in a real data center, doing that. When I graduated, I got a job at the same company as a Unix network admin. They were expanding the data center. They had needs for someone with that ability. And over time, we expanded to 2,500 end users and 80 locations across 4 states. We had about 100 physical servers. We used VMware virtualization. We successfully implemented a server consolidation. We used thin client devices. We had about 600 thin client devices. And I really enjoyed that whole experience working at this company for many years, seeing the technology evolve and learning about the different business applications and their criticality to the company. Later, when the company had a financial downturn in the real estate market, it was a building materials company. I left the company. I went to work for a video training company out of Chicago called TrainSignal. And through that, I've made a number of different video training courses. Also had the honor to speak at VMworld and user conferences like this. In my spare time, actually starting as early as 1999, I started writing for Tech Republic. I was writing the Cisco Routers and Switches newsletter that came out every week for them. And through that, my writing has just sort of built and built, and I've kind of built a following over the years, and written for a number of different publications like Computer World, Virtualization Review. If you haven't seen the Virtualization Review print magazine, it's a really well-done publication. It's free if you want to subscribe. I'm the how-to guy in usually the second to last page in the back, offering how-to tips. It's a bi-monthly magazine. They also have a website. It's really good as well. I've also authored over 15 different TrainSignal video training courses. I started off with obscure topics like wireless networking or ISA server or Windows XP, and then later moved on to VMware Server Workstation, ESX Server. And now, things like, I just finished a vSphere 5.1 new features course, and over the years I've recruited as many authors as I can find in the community who are experts to help us create more and more, because as you know, as Ryan just talked about, VMware's product portfolio has just expanded over the years, and at TrainSignal we try to find authors who are experts in these topics to cover all these things, and it's become much more than I could ever handle myself to try to be an expert in everything under the sun that VMware creates. Yes, I've even created courses in Windows 2012 Hyper-V, CompTIA Cloud Computing, and so forth. Obtained a number of certifications and awards, but perhaps the one I'm most proud of is the vExpert Award, which I'm going to talk about in this presentation because it's an award for your evangelism about VMware's products and virtualization, in general. So, things that you've done could be speaking at a VMUG, could be speaking at VMworld, or writing a book, or articles, or creating a podcast about virtualization. So it's an award for your contribution to the community, and anyone who has some sort of contribution like that is eligible to apply. So just a little bit of background, about what I do today. I talked a lot about where I came from, worked my way up from being a backup operator to an IT manager, and then blogger, author, and now speaker. And so I feel like I've had some successes in my career, and now I'd like to try to help people who would like to have similar successes, maybe not the exact same thing that I've done. I'm not saying I'm perfect and my career is the best one, but there's many different ways to have success in an IT career. It could be making a difference at your company. It could be getting a promotion. It could be you'd like to write a book one day or run your own technology company. So whatever you might dream of, there's a way to do it. So I've got some tips here to hopefully help you accomplish it. So the title of the presentation was The Secret to Success in a Career in IT. And as I created the presentation, I realized, well, there might be more than one secret, right? Maybe that should have been plural. Maybe there should have been the secrets to success. So, you're probably saying, well, what's the secret? And, honestly, there's more than just one secret. So there's multiple secrets. But I tried to break it down into 5 different, secrets, if you will, and really make it a process because, we in IT, we like processes. We like business processes. I like flowcharts. And a process is something we can understand, kind of like a CPU scheduler that's processing different CPU threads. It's not going to get stuck on one thing. It's going to always keep churning. It's going to process the next thread, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So secret number 1. First off, have a target, have a plan. What's your goal? What do you want to accomplish? Back at one of the companies I worked at, we had what we called a BHAG, or a big, hairy, audacious goal. And there's multiple acronyms for that, but that's the one we'll use. So the goal at that time was for the company to have $1 billion in sales. And everything that we did in the company was driven from that. But what's your personal BHAG? What's your personal goal in your career? And I think that's something that we don't often think about. We're so stuck on well, the company just wants me to go visit 5 customers today, or cold call 10 different companies, or do that 2-5-1 upgrade, and we just get focused on whatever it is that is on our plate today without sort of thinking of a big career plan. And it doesn't have to be a big career plan. It could be 1 year or 3 months. What is it I want to do in the next 3 months for myself, for my career? So these are just some things I threw out there. Do I want to own my own company? I want to work from home. Maybe you want to give a keynote. Hey, I finally got to give a keynote. It's my first keynote. Maybe you want to have passive income. Get an email in the morning that says, congratulations, you sold $500 of your vSphere book on Amazon last night while you slept. Be recognized as an expert, which is the vExpert program, or it could just be, hey, that Tony Gonzalez, he's the go-to guy in Florida when it comes to VMware vSphere. Everybody knows it. Maybe you want to be that person in a particular topic. Run a top blog, and I'll talk about the different top virtualization blogs. Yes, there are rankings for the top virtualization blogs, and there's a big contest, there's a competition, there's judging, and I'm actually involved in the award show for the top virtualization blogs. Or maybe you just want to make a difference at your company. What can I do to save the company money? And I would encourage you to try to find proof of that, or statistics, and I'll talk about that as well. One of the things I did when I was an IT manager was I told my director that I want to do the budget for my group so that I can see how much money we have, how much money we're spending, and then I want to be able to show in the end that by my decisions throughout the year, I saved the company, this much money. Or we were able to do these 5 new things because of the more efficient use of the funds that you gave me. And that's the type of thing you can put on a resume, or you could use in your performance review every year. So to me, getting these sort of concrete statistics or proof is something that's very important as well. So make a difference at your company, get a promotion or a raise at your company. If not, maybe get a new job at another company. And so I would encourage you, once you have this target and plan, to brainstorm the ways to get there. It doesn't have to be the perfect plan. We don't all, many entrepreneurs, they try 20 different business ideas before one finally succeeds. And your career in a successful, or your success in a career in technology could be the same way. You try 20 different things before finally it's that one thing that really broke through the ice and help me accomplish my goal, whatever it might be. So one of the ways to brainstorm is mind mapping. I got a little application on my Mac that I downloaded from the App Store. There's web apps, all kinds of mind mapping tools. You can do it on an iPad or iPhone even. So this is basically just a brainstorming session of, okay, I want to be successful in my career, I'm going to make a one-year plan. What am I going to do to get there? What are all the things that I'm going to try to do to help accomplish this goal? So, here's just a sample I came up with, so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's say I want to get a higher paying job in the field of virtualization. What can I do? Well, they're saying that blogging and social media is the new MBA. Meaning in the past, people who were mid-level administrators that had a college degree, they want to move up to the executive chain. The recommended approach was, well, go get your master's degree, and through that you'll learn the skills you need to know. And actually, I've got some quotes in here from Chuck Hollis, who is EMC's CTO of marketing, I think is his title. But he's high up at EMC, and he was on a podcast recently, and he talked about this, that, yeah, sure, you could go get your MBA, but, blogging and social media and, these social evangelism options that are available today that weren't available in the past could get you to the same destination. And he was actually encouraging people to attempt that track first. So, let's say you develop a one-year plan, you start a blog, you share your knowledge. Maybe it's a certification goal. Maybe you say, I'm going to achieve my VCP, or I want to get my VCAP. And, if you're thinking, gee, what am I going to talk about on my blog? Well, there you go. There's the answer. You talk about your certification journey. As VMware likes to use the word, the journey. Or maybe you just talk about, something new you learned at work about VMware or virtualization. And I know a lot of people say, well, my company doesn't want me to blog. But, you never mention your company's name. It's just, hey, this is something I learned. Here's a new tip on, did you know that you can download all the VMware vSphere documentation in mobile or MOBI or EPUB format, so you can put them on an iPad or a Kindle or an iPhone. That's something I've learned about recently that I just happened upon. And so I'm sure you come across things every day, in the world of virtualization and IT that you could blog about. But certification is a great one. So you promote this, to people on Twitter or whatever. Offer a guest post on some of the top virtualization blogs. Again, these are just ideas. I'm not saying this is the path you need to choose. This is just my brainstorming. Offer to speak at the VMUG. Apply for vExpert status. The vExpert program is for things that you've done in the last year. So right now you can apply, but it's for things that you would have done in 2012. So really you have a whole year to accomplish things in 2013 to apply this time in 2014. Develop a company or tech expert hit list, I call it. So, you're going to a conference, let's say you want to learn about VMware, EMC, and Cisco, and there's going to be an expert there. I want to make sure I talk to him, get his card, send him an email afterwards and say, thanks for your time, keep me in mind, send me more information about your company or your product. Maybe that's a technology you want to develop your skills on. And then, hopefully attend VMworld. There's great ways to get to VMworld today that weren't available before. Companies like Veeam were having contests where you could submit ideas. Right now, the call for papers is open for VMworld 2013. If you want to submit your proposal about something to talk about, they love case studies about ways that you've used VMware at your company and improved efficiency or saved money. They love things like that. So submit a proposal for VMworld, and you get free admission to VMworld for being a speaker. So once you're at VMworld, then I would network, talk to anyone, everyone, and then tell others about your goal. It's my goal to get a high-paying job in virtualization. I'd like to get ahead and I'd like to succeed. So again, just some ideas there. My brainstorming, the vExpert applications right now are open, but those are for things that happened in 2012. So you've got a whole year to achieve and get ahead and blog and speak and get prepared for the applications in 2014. This is the vExpert directory. If you're looking to network with people in virtualization, there's a directory out there of 400 virtualization experts around the world. Their blog is on there. One of their notable accomplishments is usually on there. For example, the very first one there, who I've never met, but I've used his tool many times. It's a free tool called RV Tools. And it's a great reporting, exporting tool for a virtual infrastructure. Completely free, you wrote it. And that's the main reason he's a vExpert. All the vExperts out there, they've got some reason, something they did that distinguished themselves that allowed them to receive that award. So the first secret was to have a plan, have a target. The second one is to network. So it could be in person here at the VMUG. I mean, you're here, don't just sit at your table and not talk to anyone. Talk to everyone. See how many business cards you can walk home with when you leave here. Even if they are vendors, but hopefully peers, other people in your industry, other customers, and develop over time that hit list of people that you'd really like to network with. I found if you email people, put a comment on their blog, or just email them through their blog, most of the time you get a response, even if they don't know you. So social media to me, Twitter. I know a lot of people cringe when they hear you should use Twitter, and because they think of posting pictures of cats on Facebook or whatever. But there is a real valuable business use for Twitter. And if you use it the right way, it can be very productive. I've heard lots of salespeople say, I get a lot of my business from Twitter. Just things I talk about, people want to come to me, or virtualization experts who talk about their recent blog posts on something they learned, and they develop a following over time. I mean, honestly, that's what I've done. That's what a lot of the other top bloggers who are on the top blogger list now. That's all that they've done over time. Other ways to network, the VMware Community Podcast every week at noon Pacific time. John Troyer has a live call. Anyone can call in. He's got a topic. He talks about trends in the industry. He has a virtualization guest, a speaker. You can ask questions. You can be on the chat. It's a great way to network. The vBrown Bag. Mr. Josh Atwell, who's our midday keynote speaker here, he's involved in the vBrown Bag. And the vBrown Bag, it started off as just a study session, I believe around the BCP certification. Just people would get together at lunch on a webinar, they would talk to one another, they could chat, they could also talk, they could ask questions, and it was to help them prepare for the BCP. And over time it's grown and grown and grown, and now it's around the world. It covers all different forms of VMware certification, now OpenStack, and all the recordings are out there from all the past vBrown bags, and you can also participate at no cost in all the future vBrown bags. I've been a guest on there, and you've got people around the world asking you questions, networking, getting to know you. So the old saying, it's all about who you know. To some degree, it's also true. So you don't want to use Twitter to waste time, because it can be a humongous time suck. One of the ways that I found it to be most efficient is Twitter has lists. So I created a list called virtualization, and it's 400 of the people that I feel are the most influential in the world of virtualization who are on Twitter. All you have to do is follow a list like that. So you can just follow my list and just read that. And honestly, I've stopped reading RSS feeds, and I use Twitter to get my daily news. Because anything that's important is on there, somebody retweets it, it ends up there for the most part. You hear about it one way or the other from following a list on Twitter. I've also got another list of the official VMware accounts. So VMware has all these different accounts, and I've got them in one list, so you just follow that one list. VMware also has something called Planet V12N, which I've got a slide for here in a minute, which is all the virtualization blogs aggregated into one single RSS feed. And then that even goes out to Twitter. There's a Planet V12N Twitter account. So if you just follow that one account even, you would get pretty much all the latest virtualization news. So more and more it's easier to stay up to date using these tools. Another way to learn about networking and social media, there's a new podcast called The Geek Whisperers. And it's really, you've got three different hosts. You've got John Troyer from VMware, he describes himself as the godfather of the VMware community. And he is. He created the vExpert program. He nurtured the VMTN community. He created the VMT and the weekly podcast. And so he's on there. Matthew Brenner, who does social media at EMC, and then Amy Lewis, who does social media for Cisco. So you've got VMware, EMC, and Cisco. It's like the VCE, but it's not about technology. You might think that it is. It's all about social media. It's about how these businesses are using social media to further their brand, to promote themselves, and then also a lot of personal branding. How do you brand yourself on social media as opposed to your company? And I found it a great way to learn about what these big companies are doing when it comes to social media, and what these people who do social media full time, how they use it most efficiently. Recently, Chuck Hollis was a guest on there. They've only had 4 episodes so far, so it's not like you have a lot to catch up on. And Chuck said, here's some quotes from Chuck Hollis at EMC. He said, social is critical to your job. You know, it's really just human communication with better tools. It's the same thing we've been doing forever. You walk up, you shake somebody's hand, you talk to them, ask them how they're doing, get to know them, get their business card, follow up with them later. It's all the same thing, just on the internet using different tools. So there's nothing to be afraid of, and don't treat it any differently. Meaning, be yourself. Just be a good person. Have something valuable to say. Try to contribute to the conversation or the community. Start with one medium. A lot of people think, oh no, I don't want to get into social media. I don't have time to set up those 6 different accounts. No, you don't have to have all those different accounts. Just try one, and I would say try Twitter. Just start with one, and then develop your personal brand along with, and your company will come along with it. So you don't want to be on there tweeting about your company all day and how great they are. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear your valuable thing about you, that you learned about virtualization today, or a great blog post you read that has a helpful tip. They don't want to know what you ate for lunch for the most part. So develop your personal brand, be yourself, and your company will come along. Chuck said social is good for you in a variety of different ways, meaning you're on there reading other people's information, things that they've learned, and then by you writing things, could be a blog post you wrote, you're forced to write it down yourself, and you're going to learn through that as well. And you also have to be careful to double check what you say to make sure it's really accurate. So it's good for you in a variety of different ways if you use it efficiently. So, he said, yeah, you can sit in meetings all day. You could go to a small event and meet 5 people. But on the internet, you could post a single tweet about your blog post and receive 300,000, viewers in a matter of a month, let's say. So Chuck said that companies like EMC and Cisco, they're trying to find the brave and passionate people and then making heroes out of them. So they're looking for people who are brave and passionate about technology and can speak that language in an intelligent way. Don't be a fanboy. Fanboys only attract fanboys. And then social is the new management and leadership track, of 2013 or whatever. So those are just some things that I learned that I found were interesting related to social media. So secret number 2 was to network in a variety of ways, not just Twitter, but a variety of ways. But I found Twitter to be pretty darn efficient in terms of the reach that you have. Secret number 3 is learn. At Train Signal, we like to use the acronym CNEI, which is constant, never-ending improvement. So you're always improving whatever it is you're doing. It never ends. You do something, you learn it, you tweak it, you improve it, and you do it again. Social media is also a skill. Virtualization, cloud computing, that's what we're all here to learn about. But other skills are important too, sales and marketing. How you might work for a reseller, you might be trying to get a job at a reseller, or just in your company internally, you always have sales and customers, to some degree. Different ways to learn here, top virtualization blogs, VMware blogs, your company's applications. That's a very critical thing to learn about. How do your company's applications work? What can you do as an IT person to improve that and make the company more money, make the processes more efficient? That's one of the best ways, to improve or make a difference in your company. Scripting, coding, Josh is going to talk about Power CLI, the vCenter Orchestrator, at the launch keynote. The vBrown bags, Train Signal, we create video training, a lot of options there, and then of course certification. I mentioned the top blogs. Eric Seberg, who's written a number of virtualization books, his blog is vsphere-land.com, and every year he has a contest where he accepts, nominations for the top virtualization blogs, and then there's an extensive voting process. Whether or not you have a blog and even want to be involved in that process, the great thing about this is in the end, he's got what he calls the vLaunchpad, which is a list of all these blogs in the order that they were ranked. So you can just go to one place, you can click to follow their Twitter account, you can click to follow their RSS feed, and it's a one-stop shop almost for the people who are talking about virtualization and educating their readers and doing it in the best way possible. I mentioned John Troyer there. The weekly communities VMware Roundtable every Wednesday. If you miss it, it's on iTunes or it's on the web. You can download it, listen to it later. The brown bag, talked about that. Different brown bags, they're all recorded. You can learn about a long list of topics. For example, I need to work on my VCP Cloud certification, new certification from VMware, and they're having a brown bag series right now on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. So, if you miss it, it's recorded. Planet V12N. This is a single web page you go to where all the virtualization blogs are aggregated into one feed. So you get little snippets of all the different blogs and the new posts in chronological order. On the right-hand side is a list of all the blogs. That's just a few of them. There's like over 100. And then there are individual RSS feeds, but they're all aggregated into this one feed. So another great way to stay up to date and continue your learning. So secret number 3 was learning. Secret number 4 is innovate. Say yes. So I talked about continuous never-ending improvement, CNEI. But I encourage you to, in your company or in your virtual infrastructure, try to find a problem, solve it, and then blog about it. So that others, you can share what you've learned with others. So many blogs, that's all they do. Hey, this is what I learned today. My job. It could even be like your daily diary or your weekly diary. And surprisingly, that's very successful because other virtualization admins are out there and they can benefit from your tips. Feedback on social media. Hey, I want to get a job at company XYZ. I'm thinking about applying. I noticed you work there. You have 10 minutes to tell me what I can do to work there one day to help me accomplish my goal. Innovate. New blog ideas. So many blogs out there. To me, one of the secret success formulas for a blog is 80% of the readers come from 20% of the content. So that 20%, or maybe it's just 10% of the content is the most valuable. All the other stuff, gets some readership, but successful bloggers, they've come up with some small piece of what I call core content. So you might have a blog about certification and talk about all these certification tips, but maybe you create one VCAP, DCA certification prep guide and put it in PDF and it's downloadable, and 90% of your readers come to get that one piece of content. So think about it. If you want to start a blog, what's that one piece or 2 or 3 pieces of content that most of the people are going to come there to get? You might even stumble upon it by accident, taking all your posts and sticking them into one PDF, and that's what they come for. The virtualization admin Bible, you call it, or something. Just some ideas, again. Solicit blog comments, but push yourself, push yourself to get ahead. Say yes. Have I ever given a keynote before? No, but when Tony said, do you want to give a keynote? Yes. I was talking to Josh Atwell, and he said, he talked with his wife, and he said, for the next 6 months, I want to improve my career. Would you be on board if I, said yes and stuck my head out and stuck my neck out and did everything I could to try to, push myself and go down the double black diamond slopes. When I go snow skiing, which is very rarely, I'm not that good of a snow skier. I should be on the greens, maybe some blues, but I have this bad habit of going down the black diamonds. Just because I want to push myself, I think I can, and I come home with cuts and scrapes on my face, and I tell my wife, if I'm not falling down, I'm not trying hard enough. I don't want to just go down the green and have life be easy. I want to go down, the black diamonds, fall down, and maybe I break my hand like I did, but it's worth it to push yourself, right? So innovate. That was the secret, innovate. So how do you innovate? One of the ways that I innovated with another vExpert and blogger is Kendrick Coleman. Kendrick Coleman has a great blog. This is at VMware 2010. We actually started this presentation at VMware 2009, and I submitted a VMworld session. It was called Top vSphere Tools, Top Free vSphere Tools, and it got accepted, much to my surprise. And then I was looking for information on how to create this presentation because, I knew about free vSphere tools, but I wasn't the expert. I ran upon Kendrick's blog, and Kendrick had a list of all the top free vSphere tools complete list of every one of them. I was very impressed. I contacted him, I didn't know him, and I said, would you like to present with me at VMware? Because obviously you know about all the top free vSphere tools. Kendrick, he's a young guy, as you can tell. He was working as a network admin in Louisville, Kentucky, and he had this small blogging started up. It didn't look as cool as this back then. But he had this list, and he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it with you. So, both of us, never having presented, we presented to rooms of 400, 600, I think one was 700 or so people, about the top free vSphere tools. It ended up being one of the top 5 sessions of VMware 2009. But, I'm not up here to brag. The moral of the story is say yes. I stuck my head out there to submit a proposal for VMworld. Kendrick stuck his head out there to say yes and do it with me. And then from there we got to speak at VMworld Europe and VMworld the following year, and created quite a difference. I felt like it got some recognition. Somebody else who's created a difference is Mr. Josh Atwell, sitting right here. Just another example, and there's so many bloggers out there. These just happen to be some of the people that were on my mind when I was creating the presentation. But Josh, his blog is there, and he was telling me last night that it was about a year from the time that he started actively blogging and pushing and saying yes and trying to get involved in the community before he got the following year he got his vExpert award, right? And then he's continued to say yes and try to do the brown bags and what else are you doing? Oh, giving a keynote, yeah, all kinds of things. So it didn't, my point here is that it didn't take that long. It wasn't a 10-year struggle, that he went through to try to get to where he is today. He got to where he is and landed a new job here recently and has been quite successful, all in the period of, a couple years by pushing himself and saying yes and trying to differentiate himself, from other people. And networking. The first time I met Josh at VMworld 2011, he was a networking, madman, just talking to everybody, doing whatever he could to get involved. So secret number 4 was network. Secret number 5 is, prove it. The certified Angus beef, you go to the butcher case, there's all this different meat, which one do you choose? You choose the one that has differentiated themselves, that looks different. Oh, well, this one's certified. I don't know who certified it, but it says it's certified, and that must be good, So you as an individual, your personal brand, you want to differentiate yourself in some way. What is it? Are you certified? It doesn't have to be just certified. Or do you have some statistics about what you've done? Yes, on my resume, I consolidated 500 physical servers into virtual machines and saved the company X million dollars. I did a VDI conversion. I saved $10 million off the company budget. All these things you did. Keep statistics about yourself. No matter how unimportant they may seem to you, to others, when you're trying to distinguish yourself, they're very important. Of course, it takes discipline. I'm not going to say, oh, this is just easy. Like I said at the start, there's no secret sauce. It takes discipline, but produce something impressive. So, one way, of course, is through certifications. VMware certifications have just broadened out. There's VCP Cloud, VCP Data Center Virtualization. There's multiple VCAPs now. I don't remember how many, 7 or so. There's multiple VCDXs. There's desktop virtualization certifications, cloud certifications, application developer, and of course the traditional vSphere. So there's multiple ways to get certifications in a variety of different topics, and they just keep expanding, and the resources to help you prepare for those continuing to expand as well. I've got a free webinar I did out there. I also presented the topic at the Ohio Regional User Group last year. 3 different VMware certifications you must get and how to pass the first time. So just tips and tricks. It's free, it's out on YouTube. One of the ways that, I don't know Josh Langer. Do you know Josh Langer? Okay. I don't know Josh Langer, but Jason Langer, yeah. Jason Langer, relatively recent entry, I guess, to the virtualization blogging world. He built an official VCAP 5 VCA study guide. And it's an awesome PDF document of all these things he's learned to help someone pass the VCAP 5 ECA. I'm going to use it, and I would recommend anyone else, if you want to get that certification, go to his blog and download it for free. So just another way he's distinguished himself. I don't know if he's a vExpert, but maybe through his work in doing this, he may be one, and maybe he'll get recognition and so on and so forth. So what's the process? We and I do like processes. So you are here. So first, find your target, find your plan, brainstorm some ideas, take those ideas, go out, network, talk to whoever will listen, and learn, continue learning, innovate, find ways to innovate, and then prove your knowledge, be it from my blog or from my promotion or the statistics on all the things I've done for the company or my certification. Find some way to prove it, and then start the process all over again. So it's a continuous, never-ending improvement. Chuck Hollis, one of the great quotes he said on the podcast was, "Try to suck a little less every day." And I really like that. I thought that was funny. But the point is, be disciplined enough to do something every day to improve yourself. And that's just a funny way of saying it. Just a quick plug for Train Signal before I go. In terms of improving yourself and learning, no longer does Train Signal sell those physical DVDs that cost $300. Now we have unlimited training like Netflix. All you want to watch for one flat $49 a month. There's a free 3-day trial. There's VCP preparation quizzes also included in that. And there's an offline player so you can watch the videos in the park or on the plane, or the train, whatever. If you have questions, if you'd like to bounce your ideas off of me on technological career success, feel free to email me, contact me on Twitter, and Tony is going to be giving away a Train Signal subscription later today. So thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.